Okay, so today we will discuss a topic of chemistry from your 11th class. Okay, it is regarding the detailed information. We are going to discuss the detailed information about this topic, and which topic this topic is named as a GOC. What is meant by GOC? General Organic Chemistry. Okay, and it is a very vast topic, one of the largest topic in your book. Okay, as per as your NEET syllabus considered. Okay, so whenever you are discussing the chemistry and basically the organic chemistry part, that is for NEET or IIT, whatever you are going to approach. Okay, you have to do this part GOC. Okay, this is the basis. Without that you can't do anything. So general organic chemistry, it is a very vast topic, as I told. Therefore we can't cover it in a single lecture, so we will try to cover as much as possible in this class. Okay, so general organic chemistry. Basically, if you know about the organic chemistry, what is meant by organic chemistry? If I ask you, because in last year, or if you are in 10th or 11th last year, you know what is meant by organic chemistry. Generally, we will say that organic chemistry is a branch of chemistry which deals with the carbon or carbon compounds. Okay. Now, what is meant by carbon? You know, carbon is an element which present in your periodic table. Okay, that is a non-metal that has atomic number 6, mass number 12, all things you know. Okay, but then also we have to discuss it in detail. Basically, what is meant by chemistry? You know, chemistry is a branch of science actually which deals with the structure, constitution and properties of anything. Okay, whatever the properties you have, that you have to discuss or you study in chemistry. Okay, about anything. And again, that chemistry is divided into three parts, that is physical chemistry, organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry, and among that the organic chemistry we are going to discuss. So what is meant by organic chemistry? Generally we call it as a chemistry of carbon compound. But why it is called that is a chemistry of carbon compound, how it is considered like that? Okay, so that only we have to discuss. So general definition is the chemistry of living materials or organizing the living sources, whatever the living sources you have or whatever the living material have. As you know, whatever thing you can see with your naked eyes, okay, that contains carbon in it, except pure glass, pure metal and minerals. Each and everything contains carbon in it. That may be a living thing, that may be a non-living thing, that may be an animal, that may be a plant, that may whatever you can see. Okay, and then Wheeler synthesized, and what was that reaction that we are going to discuss. Okay, the first question is, if you see this picture, you can see 3-4 things here. Okay, first one is coal, the second one is this is bread and some eating things. Okay, the third one is the apple, and the fourth one is ice cream. If I ask you which contain carbon in it, so the answer is each and everything contains carbon in it, because it is made up of a wood. Coal is also made up of wood. That may be the process of coalification, carbonization, whatever you can call it. Okay, then these are the parts of living things, actually bread, or if that is a meat, then also it is a part of living thing. Okay, apple is itself a living thing, means it is made up of it is obtained from the plant, and the ice cream is also obtained from such things. Okay, so we can say all the living things or all the materials which are obtained from these things are going to be considered as organic. Okay, organic compounds. If you see this picture, in this picture also you can see few materials like this your DNA contains in each and every living thing, therefore it is organic. Okay, table sugar, that is sucrose, that is also organic. Methane, it is organic. Okay, methane obtained from the what we can say marshy places. Okay, therefore it is known as a marshy gas or marsh gas. Okay, methane gas. Ethanol obtained from the sugar cane, this is also, so all these are living things. So in simple language we can call that whatever we are getting from the living thing, that is known as organic. Okay, but now it is not 100% correct, so we will discuss that. And in inorganic, your table salt, what is the formula of table salt? NaCl, carbon dioxide, diamond. Okay, whatever the metal, as I told you, all metals. Okay, that may be silver or whatever it may be. So basically, what is the definition? You can see organic, the definition of organic chemistry. Okay, in all the elements in the periodic table, one is very much versatile from the rest, Means in our periodic table, how many elements are there? If you know, more than 118 elements are there. Why more than 118? Because 92 are natural and others are right now they are discovering about that. So we can say more than 118 elements. Okay, and in that, single carbon is very much versatile. Versatile means it can do anything. It can present in most of the compounds. It can form multiple bonds and all these things. Okay, therefore carbon is so much versatile, and therefore carbon forms more than 3 millions of compound, and rest of the 117 elements, what I am trying to tell, alone carbon can produce more than 3 million compounds, and rest of the 117 element cannot prepare the 3 million compounds. Means alone carbon can do that. Okay, so chemical definition, what is the chemical definition of organic chemistry? Organic chemistry is the study of compound containing carbon. Okay, that may be though for example, one compound contain only 2 atoms, and among that only one carbon, or any one contains 1000 atom and then in that also one carbon, then no matter, we need a carbon, at least a single carbon, then it is called as a organic compound. Is it clear? I hope. Okay, but this was not the original theory. Means before that, in previous time, it is not considered. They don't know about the carbon, they don't know all these things. Okay, so what they considered a theory that is known as a vital force theory. What is meant by vital force? Vital means important. Okay, so there was a scientist named Berzelius. Therefore this theory or this hypothesis is also known as Berzelius hypothesis. What he states, Berzelius states that in each and every organic compound, at that time it is considered that organic compounds are those compounds which are obtained from the living thing only living thing. That may be plant, that may be animal. For example, I will tell you the milk is a material which is obtained from the living thing, or apple, it is a material obtained from the living thing. Okay, like that each and everything which is obtained from the living thing is known as organic thing. And what Berzelius states, he states that we cannot prepare organic compound in laboratory. What Berzelius states that we cannot prepare organic compound in laboratory because vital force is absent there. He states there is a certain kind of force, that force is known as a vital force. Okay, and this vital force means an important force, or he named it as a natural force. He said only natural force can prepare the organic compound, not a human. Okay, and therefore before this time, before means before Berzelius, and at the time of Berzelius also, it was considered that whatever you are getting from the living thing, means you are getting meat, you are getting fishes, you are getting honey, you are getting flowers, you are getting fruit, okay, milk, eggs, whatever you are getting, that is named as organic. And whatever you can't get from the living thing, that is named as a inorganic. Okay, like water or minerals or whatever it may be. Is it clear? Okay, then this was the Berzelius. As you know, many of the elements are named in the honor of few of the scientists, like that this one. Okay, fourth one, it is in the honor of Mr. Berzelius. Okay, so he proposed this. Okay, and this was the original concept before the Berzelius, or at the time of Berzelius also. Organic compounds we can get only from the animal or plants. Okay, and from animals we are getting proteins, fats or oils. Okay, in proteins we are having egg, you can get the non-veg, okay, that may be, okay, fishes, all these things are from the chicken. Okay, all these are containing protein and these are organic. Then from non-living you are from living you are getting the fats and oil from milk, butter, cheese. Okay, from plant you are getting carbohydrate like wheat, maize, potatoes, barley, rice, all these contain carbohydrate. Pulses, beans contain proteins. Vitamins, apple, orange, all these plant contains vitamins. And oils, okay, palm oil, olive oil, whatever oil you are getting having, that contains oils. Okay, so this was the previous concepts and it is considered at that time. Okay, so what was the vital force theory? Vital force theory states that organic compounds were obtained straight from nature and there was no known method of preparing them in laboratory, and therefore it is, or this is called as a vital force theory. What this theory states? This theory states that organic compounds can only prepare only obtained from the nature or from the natural sources only. You can't prepare it in laboratory. Okay, but this theory was rejected, or this theory was not followed by a scientist, that is Huller. Okay, Friedrich Huller was scientist. He prepared urea in laboratory, okay, which was actually considered that urea. What is urea? First of all, you must know urea is an excretory material which is found in the excretory in excretory material or urine of the animals. Okay, so Wooler synthesized urea from ammonium cyanate, okay, in laboratory. Actually urea is an organic compound. Okay, here you can see what is urea. Urea is a organic material, okay, found in human urine, animal urine also. Okay, uh, but Wooler prepared this in laboratory. Okay, and this is the reaction, very important reaction. Many times they ask already asked this one. Okay, which is the first organic compound prepared in laboratory. Okay, so the answer is urea. And what is the raw material for that? That is ammonium cyanate. Okay, so this is the first material which is produced in laboratory by scientist Wooler. Okay, then this is the Wooler synthesis. If you want the diagram, the chemical reaction, this is the basic chemical reaction. Ammonium cyanate, okay, NH4OCl. In laboratory, after some reactions, it produces urea, NH2CONH2. Okay, this is the basis of this synthesis. And from the after this synthesis, the total concept changed. What was the previous concept? Previous concept was organic compounds are those which are obtained from the living thing, and inorganic are those which are obtained from non-living thing. Non-living means air, water, minerals, soil, like that. Okay, but after this Wooler prepared a compound like urea which contain carbon in it, and that is actually organic, but he prepared in laboratory. Okay, so therefore after that a new concept was produced. And what was that? Here you can see what is mean by organic compounds. So organic compounds are those which must contain carbon. The second one is sometimes these organic compound may contain, except than carbon, these contain nitrogen, oxygen, sulfur, phosphorus, etc. Okay, and inorganic are those that may contain anything, that may contain number of elements except carbon. Carbon must not be there. Is it clear? Okay, so this is the second theory or second process, we can say. Here you can see the compounds like glycerol, okay, benzene, pentene. These are few compounds which contain carbon in it, and these are inorganic compound like azide ion, CO2. Now this is very interesting, carbon dioxide. Now you may ask, if Wooler said that, or after Wooler this the definition is like that, organic compounds must contain carbon. In this already carbon is there, but then also it is considered as inorganic. Why? The answer is, after after some time, after Wooler, few compounds were found which contain carbon, but they don't contain hydrogen. So therefore one more addition is there in organic compound. What is meant by organic compound? Organic compounds are those which contain carbon and hydrogen in it. Those are known as organic compound. If only carbon is there, like carbon dioxide, it is not considered as organic compound. Now the question is, why only hydrogen? The answer is, if you know the periodic table, which is the smallest element in the periodic table, you know, or periodic table, in this periodic table hydrogen is here. Okay, so which is the smallest element in the periodic table? That is hydrogen. Okay, not helium, though the size will decrease, all the things you know, but then also hydrogen is the smallest. Therefore whenever necessary or the need of completing valency is there, hydrogen is there, and it fulfill the valency. Is it clear? I think. Okay, so now onwards, remember, organic compounds are those which contain carbon and hydrogen in it. Okay, one more thing. Now if I will show you one more compound like Cl, Cl, Cl and Cl. If someone asks you, this also doesn't contain hydrogen, but it is considered as organic, the answer is, this is actually derived from the methane. Okay, what is the methane? Methane is like this one, and we are going to discuss about the methane also later on. Okay, but first you have to remember this. So what is meant by organic compounds? Organic compounds are those compounds which contain at least one carbon in it as well as hydrogen, or these are the derivatives of hydrocarbon. Now what is meant by hydrocarbon we are going to discuss. Okay, so wait. So what is organic and inorganic compounds? So organic compounds are based on carbon, inorganic compounds are not based on carbon. Organic compounds are non-electrolyte, inorganic compounds are electrolyte. This is very important. Organic compounds contain covalent bond in it. Inorganic compound doesn't contain covalent bond, or inorganic compound contain ionic bond. Okay. Then if you know about the ionic bonds are the strongest bond. Therefore, ionic bond containing compounds means inorganic compound are with the high melting and boiling point. It is obvious. Therefore, these are with high melting and boiling point, and organic compound with a low melting and boiling point. After that, the solubility. As you know, NaCl, sodium chloride, is an ionic compound. Therefore, it can dissolve easily in water. Like that, ionic compounds are soluble in water. Inorganic compounds, and organic compounds are not soluble in water. For that, you can do one experiment. You can take the coal, make it a powder, convert it into powder, and try to dissolve it in water and kerosene, and you will come to know that it will dissolve in kerosene. Why? Because it required organic solvent, not ionic solvent, which is water. Is it clear? Okay. And ionic compounds are 1,000 in number, whereas organic compounds are millions in number. I told you, carbon alone can prepare 3 million or more than 3 million compound, and remaining 117 combinedly also cannot produce the 3 million compounds. Okay. So here we can say where the organic compounds are present. So in our daily life, in fruits, chocolate, fish, mint, okay, in medicines also, in aspirin, so many tablets are there. In next topics, few topics are there where you have to so few reactions where you have to prepare these compounds. Okay. Then addictive substances like caffeine, nicotine, you know, nicotine, alcohol, these also contain carbon. Okay. Hormones, adrenaline, okay, that also contain carbon. In foods, carbohydrate, protein, we discuss right now. Okay. In genetics, your genes, okay, DNA, RNA, these also contain carbon. And in consumer product like plastic, rayon, nylon, polyester, all these are organic compounds. Okay. Or all these contain carbon, and that is organic compound. I hope this is okay. Okay. Now, organic and inorganic compounds. So living things are made up of inorganic and organic compounds. So many things are there, or living things are there which made up of both the things. Okay. As you know, for example, your body contains iron. Okay, iron, but that is not an organic thing. But then also it means your body is made up of both the things. Okay. So compound that do not contain both carbon and hydrogen are called inorganic compounds. Okay. And the bases are the water, salt, inorganic acids, bases like this. And which are the organic compounds that contain both carbon and hydrogen, as I told you. So which are the organic compounds? That is carbohydrate, protein, lipid, nucleic acid, etc. Okay. So comparison between organic and inorganic, we can see the living or non-living things, that is carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, all these things. But carbon is compulsory in organic compounds. These are soluble, we discussed, boiling point, less, and all these things. Okay. Then the question is, we are saying that carbon is so versatile, carbon forms so many compounds, carbon forms this much, that much. So the reason we have to find out, or we have to understand what is the reason. So carbon atoms are able to form few type of covalent bond, okay, with the other carbon atoms or atoms of other element. Means if you see the ionic bond, what is the condition for ionic bond? If anyone knows, the condition of ionic bond is one must be metal and another one must be the non-metal. One must be metal and another one must be the non-metal. So if one is metal and another one is non-metal, these are considered as the ionic compound. But in covalent compound or in carbon compound, carbon is itself a non-metal. But then also you find carbon combines with so many other non-metals. Means it is a non-metal, but it combines with this non-metal. Again, hydrogen is a non-metal. Again, oxygen is a non-metal. Halogen is a non-metal. It means carbon combined with so many non-metals. Therefore, it is known as a means we can say it doesn't contain ionic bond, it contains covalent bond. Okay, so we are going to discuss actually the covalent bond formation or covalent bonding. Okay, so here first of all we have to understand what is meant by covalent bond. So covalency, if you split these two words, it contains two words, that is co and valency or valent. What is meant by covalency or valency? Valency means, you know, the number of electrons present in the outermost shell or the number of electrons which are required for the completion of the shell, that may be octet or duplet. These are known as a this is known as a valency. And covalency means the bonds which are sharing. Okay, what is meant by sharing? Sharing means both are giving, no one is losing or gaining, but both are sharing. Okay, so covalent bond or covalent molecule we have to discuss. The covalent bond is the bond which is produced due to the sharing of electrons, sharing. Okay, so first of all we have to discuss why carbon can't. Actually carbon's atomic number is 6, it has electronic configuration 2, 4. So the question is why it can't lose or gain electron. The answer is, if you want to make carbon lose or gain electron, then it's okay. If you want that carbon should lose the electrons or gain the electron, if carbon loses the electron, it will acquire +4 charge. If carbon gains the electron, it will acquire -4 charge. Okay, but as you know, in chemistry, more the charge, less is the stability. So after gaining or losing the electrons also, it will not acquire the stability. So what is the use of that? Therefore it will not prefer the ionic bond formation. Okay, so what it prefers? It prefers covalent bond. How it prepares a covalent bond? By the sharing. Here you can see in this diagram of methane, the centrally this diagram of methane, you can say here in methane the 4 dots with the red color are the 4 electrons of carbon and the remaining crosses are from hydrogen. These are also single electrons. So they come close to each other or they share the electrons. Due to this, what happens? If you count now the electrons around the carbon, these are the 8 electrons, means octet is complete. And for hydrogen, as hydrogen is of small size, only duplet is required, so hydrogen's duplet also completed. Okay, so this is the covalent molecule formation. Okay, so covalent bonds can result in the formation of a single covalent molecule. So this is the basis behind the covalent bond formation. Okay, so here bonds in which two atoms share a pair of valence electron. Pair means two electrons. If two electrons, one from one side, another from one side, then this is known as a shared covalent bond. So two or more atoms held together by covalent bond forms a molecule, and such molecules are known as or called as covalent compounds or molecules. Okay, here you can see methane is the same, water is same, carbon dioxide same, hydrogen is same, means all these are covalent compounds. Ammonia is same. Okay, here you can see actually the covalent bonds are 3 type of covalent bonds, that is single covalent bond, double covalent bond and triple covalent bond. Okay, so here you can see H2 molecule is a single covalent bond. Why? Because only one pair is there. How many pairs are there? That is only the thing which matters. Okay, in oxygen you can see 2 pairs are there. In oxygen, if you see, the 2 pairs are there, therefore these 2 pair produce a double bond, double covalent bond. And in nitrogen there are 3 pairs, so it is known as a triple covalent bond. Okay, so this is the basic idea behind the covalent bond. Okay, here you can see the single, double and triple covalent bond. Now which bond is stronger? That also you have to know. That is, single bond is weaker compared to double bond, and it is weaker as compared to triple bond. It means we can say triple bond is the strongest, then double, then single. Okay, according to strength we are talking about. Okay, so this is also the same structure. Now in this topic we are going to discuss about the carbon, therefore we must know the structure of carbon. Actually, carbon structure is not like that. Whenever you draw the carbon, we will draw it like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, but it is not like that. It has a three-dimensional structure. Here you can see the structure. This is three-dimensional. Three-dimensional means these two hydrogens are in the plane, this is in the plane, this is in the plane, this is behind the plane with dotted line, dark line is above the plane or front side of the plane. Okay, like that. This molecule is of tetravalent and tetrahedral valency. We will discuss that in the topic chemical bonding in detail. Okay, but at least you must know this. Now, which are the properties of covalent compound? So, in this, electrons are shared, not lose or gain, therefore no ions are there. Only non-metals. Okay, in this I told you no metal is there. So low melting and boiling point. As I told you, ionic bonds have the strongest, that is electrostatic force in ionic bond. But in this no electrostatic force, therefore low melting and boiling point. Okay, normally gases and liquids or solids at room temperature and do not conduct electricity. We already discussed all these points. Normally don't dissolve in water. Why? I told you. Okay. And then the larger the molecule, the greater is the chance it will be at solid at room temperature. Okay. And that is the reason why the wax, you know, the wax, candle wax or wax, that is solid. Why it is solid? Because it contains more than 10 carbons in it. Okay. We will discuss that all these things. Okay. And made of natural non-metal and localized shared pair of electron. Okay. So these are the things, and we come to know that carbon produce covalent compounds. Now, carbon forms covalent compound, that is okay. But why then also just forming covalent bond? Because we already seen that nitrogen also formed covalent bond, oxygen also formed. But then also why you are saying, or why it is given that carbon alone can produce 3 million or more than 3 million compound? The answer is here, that carbon is a non-metal which has the property of combining itself. Actually, four properties or four things make carbon more versatile. Which are those we are going to discuss? Carbon is a non-metal which has the property of combining with itself. It is present in various forms of nature. Okay, various forms of nature means allotropes, that also we are going to discuss. There is a separate, okay, actually there is a chapter in we'll study about the carbon. Okay, in this portion also we will discuss, but this is the same point, that is single covalent bond, double covalent bond and triple covalent bond. Okay, the formation of covalent bond, single and double or multiple, in this also we can see the same things. Okay, now this is carbon is unique. More than 90% of all known compounds are carbon compounds and therefore organic. Whatever you can see with your naked eyes, your clothes, the material which you are eating, okay, the paint we are applying on the wall, okay, whatever, the cement and each and everything, these are known as organic compound. Okay, living systems are all organic based. Carbon has unique characteristics that make multiple compounds possible. Okay, and why carbon is unique? That it forms a large variety of compound, that only we are going to discuss. Okay. Okay, so we will discuss why carbon is the unique, that it forms a large variety of compound. So 4 points, as I discussed, as I told you, 4 points are very important. The first point is carbon is a tetravalent. What is meant by tetravalent? Tetra means its valency is 4. If you study it, the periodic table, you know that in any element can have maximum valency 4, from 0 to 4, not more than 4. Therefore, how many bonds any element can produce? Maximum 4 bonds. Okay, and this bond or this a stable molecule. Okay, and this 4 bond formation is known as a tetravalency. This is the first point. The second point is about the multiple bond formation. What is meant by multiple bond? It means carbon at a time can produce single bond, double bond as well as triple bond. No other element can have such property. Means either they can produce single bond or double or triple, but not at a time double and triple or like that. But carbon has a property that carbon can produce at a time double bond as well as double bond, means multiple bonds. Okay, and the third one is about the isomerism, and the fourth one is about the catenation. We will discuss that. Okay, so why carbon is forms such more? It is a tetravalent. It has the ability to bond with other carbon atoms to form a straight chain, branch chain and ring compound. This is known as catenation, as I told you. We will discuss in detail. It is very important. Catenation, normally they ask the question regarding this one. Okay, it has the ability to mix and rearrange the 4 orbitals in the outer shell, that is sp3, sp2 and sp. What is this hybridization and all this concept? We are going to discuss it in chemical bonding. Okay, if you know the chemical bonding, then you must know it can produce carbon at a time, as I told you. Means suppose there is oxygen. Okay, suppose there is oxygen either can produce single bond or oxygen can produce double bond. It is not able to form the triple bond, but carbon can produce single bond as well as double bond as well as triple bond. Okay, so no one can do like that, no one can behave like that. Okay, and then the resonance, that is delocalization of electron. What is meant by delocalization of electron? That is the like this structure. Okay, resonance means the shifting of pi electrons from one place to another place. Okay, so few points are actually we are going to discuss in the chemical bonding, but right now you have to remember this. Okay, so carbon has a tetravalency. Okay, so it forms like this 4 bonds. Okay, so this is the basic idea. More than 90% of all the compound contain carbon. We will discuss that. Okay, so scientists once thought that organic compound could only be produced by the living things, and now it can artificially produced. Okay, then about the carbon or the electronic structure of carbon, or we are going to discuss the versatile nature of carbon. We will discuss, that is tetravalency, catenation. Okay, now this is what is the valency of carbon? You know electronic configuration 6. So if you write down electronic configuration, it is 2, 4. If you want to write down it in the form of 1s2, 2s2, you can write it like 1s2, okay, 2s2 and 2p2. Then what happens? One electron will excite up to this and it will produce the 6 electrons. And among that 4 are unpaired and therefore it has a valency 4. Okay, and these 4 can share with others to produce 4 bonds. So like this, here 1 bond, here 1 bond, here, like that carbon can produce 4 bonds. Okay, so carbon's characteristic includes its ability to bond with oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, sulfur and phosphorus. Okay, and carbon biochemical compounds are essential to all life on the planet. Because of its bonding ability, carbon can form a single, double and triple covalent bond with other atom. Okay, this is the idea. Okay, basic. Then the properties of carbon. Atomic number is 6, 4 valence electron available for bonding. Okay, and each carbon can form 4 bonds and can combine with itself and other element in many ways. So carbon atom can form a straight chain, branch chain and a ring. Okay, what it means? It means carbon can combine with other carbon like this, like this, like this, like this. Okay, this is a straight chain. It can produce a branch chain like this, like this. Okay, or it can produce a cyclic chain, means carbon, 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 carbon and like this. Okay, it can, or it can like this. Okay, like this it can produce the cyclic also. So carbon atom, as we discussed this also, tetra means 4 and carbon atom completes its octet only by sharing its valence electron with other, and as a result carbon can form 4 covalent bond by sharing with others. Okay, and this is the, this is one, the straight chain, this is the branch chain, this is branch chain and this is the cyclic chain. So these are the chains it can form. Now the second property that is very much important, that is catenation. What is meant by catenation? So the ability of carbon atom to form the chain or ring compound by joining together is called as catenation. Carbons can combine or attach with other carbon atom to form a long chain like this, carbon, 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 carbon. Okay, or carbon in any direction, 3-dimensional also it can produce. This is known as catenation. Okay, so The remarkable property of carbon atom to form bonds with itself and gives rise to a single large structure of chain. Okay, and this property of direct bonding between the atoms of same element to form a chain. Okay, so carbon chains can be straight branch forming large molecule. Okay, like this. Here also you can see this is the linear chain, the central one, and this is the branch chain, and these are the ring chains which are at the lower side. Is it clear? Okay. Now, when you are drawing the carbon, it has carbon 2, 4 means first shell contains 2 electrons, one here, and second shell contain 4 electrons, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So, carbon has the ability to form a wide variety of molecules based on the arrangement of its electron. The carbon atom has a total 6 electrons. 2 are in the inner shell and 4 are in the outer shell. These are called as valence electrons. So carbon can form such compounds, a large variety of compounds. Okay. And the next property that is also very important, that is known as isomers or isomerism. What is meant by isomers or isomerism? Iso means same, mer means unit. Okay, so the organic compound containing same molecular formula and different structural formula. Okay, compound having same molecular formula but different structural formula are known as isomers, and this property is called as isomerism. Okay, some compound having same number of atoms but different in physical and chemical properties are called isomers. This is also the definition. So isomers have same molecular formula but differ in arrangement of atom. It means structural formula. Okay, and that is the only thing we are going to discuss. Here you can see here 3 molecules are there. One is pentane. If you check out what is the molecular formula, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The molecular formula is C5, and how many hydrogens if you count it will be 12. Okay, so C5H12. In this the molecular formula remains same, but structure if you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all 5 are in a line, but here 1, 2, 3, 4, only 4 are in line and one is on the upper side. In this 1, 2, 3, these 3 are in a line. Okay, and these 2 are, one is on the upper side, another one on lower side, but in all cases molecular formula remains same but structure is different. Okay, so this structure is known as N-pentane, this is isopentane, and this is neopentane, and this is the basic idea behind why carbon produce such a large number of compounds. Okay, so thank you.